Hello, hello, hello. It's that day. It's that time. You know what that means. Hopefully everything's working. I know a couple people have been having problems with StreamYard today. Hopefully things are working for me. Checking, checking, checking. Hopefully things are working for me. Okay, cool. Looks like it's working. Hello, everybody. Welcome, welcome. I totally just lost my StreamYard. There it is. Hi there. How's it going? What's new? I'll wait for y'all to stream on in here. Hey, Steve. Excuse me. I normally would not be eating while I'm live, but technically I'm not eating. I am downing a whole lot of cough drops because everybody in this house is sick again. We have just been passing this crud back and forth, round robin style all summer. And I'm sick of it. I'm sick of being sick. So sick that I almost considered canceling this live tonight. But I got stuff to talk about. So I came with the lozenges. I got me a cold drink in my limoncello. I've even got my warm drink. I went and got a coffee. So I'm gonna keep the throat warm. I'm gonna cool it off when I need to, and I won't put any more lifesavers. I won't put any more cough drops in because that's annoying to listen to me chewing on cough drops while I'm talking. So when these are gone, that sound will go away. But it is clearing up my throat, my sinuses, so that I can actually talk, and you'll actually be able to understand me. Because yeah, we are going to talk about something tonight. So let's see who's here. Hi, Steve. Hey, Catherine. Hi, Shanita. I will. I got something to take care of first, though. Yeah, but I'm not listening to you eat while I'm live. Yeah, it's okay. Like I said, we've been passing this back and forth all summer. It's ridiculous. Come on in. Hi, Estella. So those of you that are here, let me know what you're working on, what you've got in your cup, and how your day's going. Yo, hey Chris. How you doing? Okay. While I'm waiting for these to dissolve, let's talk about some works in progress and some things. This is actually all going to lead up to my rant, believe it or not. So, y'all know I've been working on that llama blanket. So, I'm making progress. The blanket itself is done. Again, I'm not pulling it out because it's all white. And if I look at it funny, I'm going to ruin it. Let me get Chris's comment off of here real quick. But, we have a llama head. We have a llama muzzle. We have llama ears. And this is the top of the llama's head. Oh, my lights are really washing that out. Oh, the loop-de-loops. This is the top of the llama's head. I have 5 more rows of that head to do, and then I can assemble the llama's head. I am so excited. Then all I have left to do is finish the llama's legs. There's one of them. So I have 3 more of these to do, and then I can assemble it, and it's done. Which means I will actually make my deadline of the end of August, because that's when I wanted it done. So I should have this done by, well, probably this time next week. So Yay! I'm so happy because this project was a little bigger than I thought it was going to be. And to be quite honest, I undercharged, but that's okay. Those of you that know the story know why I'm okay with maybe possibly undercharging it. It's fine. I'm okay with it. So that's what I've been working on. And as y'all know, I'm working slowly because, well, I'm still wounded. My shoulder's still killing me. My arm is still numb in this part. And my thumb, after an hour or two of, ignore my broke up manicure. Taylor's going to fix me up this weekend. Um, anyway, what was I saying? What was I saying? Holy crap! Just that quickly, I forgot. Oh yeah, so I can only crochet for like a short amount of time. And as I was sitting here, it dawned on me that part of my problem is that I lean a lot, and I tend to lean to my right, and I'm leaning and I'm putting pressure on my arm, and that pressure is causing problems in my shoulder. So I bit the bullet and I just ordered a ridiculous amount of ergonomic office equipment. So I got an ergonomic keyboard, I got an ergonomic mouse, I got an ergonomic mouse pad, I got an ergonomic footrest, and I ordered an ergonomic chair. So I'm hoping that getting this equipment that's going to give me more support will cut down on some of these aches and pains and I'll actually be able to, work because I kind of need to do that because, dogs don't feed themselves, houses aren't free. I like to eat. You know the drill. So anyway, so I'm kind of excited about that, although I spent more than I really anticipated, and my credit card is a nice little plastic pool of, well, it's a nice little pool of plastic, I guess I should say, melted. But I want to believe that if I can work more efficiently and comfortably, I can work more. So it'll be worth it. So anyway, okay. So those are the two things. And yes, that last thing does lead into my rant, but let me see what you guys are talking about, and then we'll go into that. Let's see. New comments. You guys got chatting on me. Good grief. Everybody say hello to everybody. Catherine is drinking a cherry cream slush from Sonic and knitting on a blanket. I wish we had a Sonic closer than we do. Our closest Sonic is an hour away. That's annoying. Hey, Kelly. Association needs tea. Started a garter triangle with hand spun. Don't know how big it'll be. If I say hello to each other. Hellos to everybody. Okay, cool. All right, so y'all know that I'm a pattern designer, and a funny thing is, I'm sharing something with you real quick. Let me share my screen. Watch, won't be able to find it. Hang on. Hope to actually pull it up. Okay, no, I got it. There it is. Let's see, you might not let me share it because it's being a pain. Are we getting that stupid Inception share thing going on? We are. Ugh. Okay, apparently StreamYard is not willing to let me share stuff. Anyway, I'm gonna skip that for now. What came up in my feed was the very first pattern I ever published, which was the Chill Kill Pocket Shawl. It's on Etsy. Um, but it came up in my memories today, and it's ironic because um, it has sold pretty well. So there's a decent amount of those Chill Kill Pocket Shawls running around out in the world. As far as I'm concerned, it's a good thing. It's an awesome thing. I designed and shared the pattern because I wanted people to make the pattern. That was the point. Even over making money off of the pattern, the fact that people like the pattern enough to buy it and make it makes me happy. That was the point. So, that's why I get confused when pattern designers want to add caveats such as please do not make more than one version of this item, or this item cannot be made and sold. And what baffles me even more is when they think they actually have the right to say that. Now, let me stop there and let me backtrack to why I'm ranting about this tonight. So I'm on one of the Facebook crochet groups. Isn't where this always starts? And somebody posted that they found a pattern they really liked, and they wanted to make the item, and they wanted to know that if they made more than one of the items, they could sell it. Well, the vast majority of us said, yeah, you can sell it. You can sell the items that you made from that pattern. Well, here comes this one particular person that's like, you have to get the permission from the pattern designer. And if you don't get permission from the pattern designer, then it's copyright infringement. So, before I continue, where do you guys fall on this? Can you sell an item that you make from someone else's pattern? Yes or no? Just let me know real quick. Meanwhile, I'll see who's coming since. People say, hi, Marquita. Long time no see. Creator Akita, yep, you're here right on time. Yeah, they bought the pattern. And if you buy the pattern, then it's yours to use. Once somebody has purchased a pattern, they can make that pattern the item that for that pattern as many times as they want, and they can do with those items what they want. But there are a lot of people that disagree with that. I just wonder if anybody in here agreed, disagreed, what have you. Makita's saying almost all the patterns I've purchased stayed at the bottom that it can be sold. You hit on a good point there, Marquita. I'm going to talk about here in a second. Because there's something interesting about that people don't realize that they're shooting themselves in the foot. Yes, what VJ? And hi. Did you come in and did you sneak in here and I didn't say hello to you? Anyway, hi. Yes, items made can be sold. I would say yes, you should be able to make the item and do what you want with it. Kidda, yes, you should be able to, but I also know that pattern writers will state in the bottom that it is okay to sell the made item, but not the actual pattern as their own. Right. Okay, looks like we're all on the same page. So as you guys know, or most of you know, I'm working on my master's in legal studies, and my emphasis, ironically enough, is intellectual property, copyright law, and contract law. So I'm a little in tune with this, okay? So when the person on the Facebook page was saying, "No, you have to get express permission from the pattern designer," I chimed in and said, "No, you don't, because the contract is you sell the pattern, you're selling the rights to the pattern to make the design of the pattern. Past that, the designer has no rights whatsoever. So if it's like, for instance, if people bought my Chill Kill pocket shawl pattern and they made the pocket shawl, if they turned around and they sold that pocket shawl for $50, my response, good job. Because I made what I was supposed to make, they bought the pattern from me. What happens after that legally has nothing to do with me. But however, there are so many designers out there that are convinced that they have the right to tell makers that they can't sell the finished items. Okay, I'm going to say this real loud. Dear pattern designers, you do not have that right. You cannot tell people who buy your patterns how to use that pattern. The only thing that you are entitled to is that they cannot pass the pattern off as their own. So, if somebody makes my Chill Kill pocket shawl and they sell it, and someone asks, "Oh, this is awesome, did you design it?" Legally, they have to say, "No, I bought the pattern and made it myself." They can't say, "Yes, I designed it," because that's a lie. Another way around it would be if a designer, and I don't know what designer would have time to do this, but follow me along. If a designer writes a pattern, then makes the item, and then copyrights the actual finished product, then they can say that, yes, say hello, go away. Hey. Hi, bye. Then the designer might, and I mean this seriously, might have the option of saying you cannot sell the finished product. But that would mean, like I said, the pattern designer would have had to go through the hassle of making the item and copyrighting the made item. And who's going to do that? Why would you do that? It makes zero sense. So, okay, let me see what you guys are saying, and then I'll go on to the next portion. We're saying hello. You just said yes. Just items can be sold. I think I've read all this already. If they call it the name from the pattern without saying designer, maybe. Issue if change, take credit, maybe. I think the copyright should be on the pattern itself. It is. You didn't get a notification? I said, StreamYard's been and YouTube are being funky. She's saying hello to everybody. I've seen some patterns that state you cannot sell the made items, though. Those I usually won't buy. I have something to say about that in just a second. Yes, overall, you have to follow the license agreement. They can legally state that it's for personal use only or whatever they want. Okay. Okay, now here's the thing. You're all pretty much saying that, you're seeing that they're saying that you can only like make it so many times, or you can only make it for personal use only. Here's the problem. When you make stipulations like that, you are drawing up a contractual agreement. The problem is, where do you see these caveats for how you can use the pattern? written on the pattern, right? You can really agree on that. That it's normally written on the pattern. I'm waiting to get some yeses, nos to that. Give me a yes or a no. Then normally you find that language written on the pattern itself. Okay, so Nina, you're jumping ahead on me here, but she makes the point. If you write that on the pattern, the only way someone can read that is if they've already bought the pattern. For a contract to be valid, both people have to agree to that contract before the contract goes into effect. So if you have that written on the contract, I buy the pattern and then I read it, it's an invalid contract. It's an invalid statement. You cannot enforce it. Never mind the fact that you can't enforce it anyway, because past the copyright on the pattern, you have no right. You're not even smart enough to write it outside of the pattern. So my thing is, if you are going to be that worried about how people are going to use your pattern, don't sell it. Why are you selling it? Why are you a pattern designer selling patterns? Because last I checked, the whole point of designing patterns and selling them is so that people buy them and make them. That's the point. You don't get to double dip. You don't get to sell them the pattern and then dictate how they use it. That's not how this works. At all. Ever. Anyway, so going back to the Facebook group, I basically said what I just said in here. No, once you sold the pattern, the person that bought the pattern is free to use it the way they want. So the chick comes back and says, nope, that's not true. To which I'm like, okay, cite your source. Where is it written that a pattern writer can dictate how the pattern is used once it's sold? So she comes back with the copyright.gov website. Now, if any of you have been on that website, it's like 1,000,000 pages. And along with the link, she leaves a snarky remark. Feel free to research this and find the information that you need to prove my point. Okay, why am I going to research your point when A, I know it's wrong, and B, if you're so sure it's true, you should be able to pull up an exact page on copyright.gov and show me where it's there. But you can't do that because you know why? It doesn't exist, because you're making this crap up. And that is kind of leading me into my official rant of I am sick and tired of people that have no idea what the hell they're talking about coming onto these pages and giving out advice that's wrong. This is the third, I want to say, the third live in a row that I've been complaining about somebody giving out lame advice. This is a huge community. There's a lot of information out there. There are books. There are YouTube channels. There are blogs. There are vlogs. All chock full of legit information. Why are you peddling lies? Why are you too lazy to look up the actual information and pass that on to people instead of just going by what so-and-so down the street who was playing poker with so-and-so told you? You know, we need more people to join the yarning community and feel comfortable being here. And when people realize that you've been like selling them a line of crap, or that advice you gave them was ridiculously wrong, they're not going to stick around in the community. They're not going to trust anybody. And that is the exact opposite of what we need to be doing here. Oh, let me see what you guys are saying. Because you guys got chatty on me. Oh my god, wait. I have seen some patterns that state you cannot. I read you already. I read that one. They cannot share the pattern or pass the pictures off as their own. Exactly. Everybody say hello. Wait, I just remembered that Lady J Crochet made a knitted beanie that said wifey or Mrs. and asked that purchasers respect her request not to sell the finished product. You can ask people not to do it, but if they do it, you don't have a legal leg to stand on. But I mean, you can ask them not to sell it. You can ask them to only use it for personal use, but legally, you can't make them, and that's where the problem comes in because people really think that they have a legal leg to stand on in this, and they don't. Lots of people out there who will slightly tweak an existing pattern and call it theirs. Okay. I wasn't going to bring this up, but since Lauren did, I think it's scummy. I think it's slimy. I think it's sleazy. But from a legal standpoint, if you make just one change in a pattern, it's officially a different pattern. It's the sleaziest thing to do. And I think I would skewer anybody if I knew they did that. But from a legal standpoint, it's not illegal. But it's a sucky thing to do. Yes, if it states it before you purchase. Exactly. But most people don't do it on the purchasing page. They put that information on the pattern itself, which you don't see until after you've bought the pattern. Or the description box on the YouTube tutorial. See, it depends on that. That's kind of a dicey area, and ironically enough, we were talking about this in one of my classes. Um, we're talking about YouTube, how like do it yourself on YouTube. If there's written patterns that match the YouTube tutorial, then legally you've got a stronger case. But if you just have the video itself, people are trying to skirt around the fact that if they use like a different tool or they do things in a different order, that technically it's a totally different project. This area is going to get very interesting very quickly because there's a lot of wiggle room and people are looking for loopholes, and none of this has really been proven in court yet. There's only been, I want to say, 5 cases where of a textile nature of people trying to go for copyright infringement, but I'm anticipating that increasing in the near future because the sheer volume of people we now have that are writing patterns and posting tutorials on video, and yeah, so this is going to get really interesting real quick, and that's kind of why I made my focus contract and intellectual property law, because I have a feeling that I'm going to be using that knowledge in the near future. It doesn't matter whether you sell it or you put the pattern out there. You own the copyright either way. As soon as like, excuse me, you drink. As soon as you write the pattern out, whether it's on pen and paper or fingers and keyboard, sorry, you own the copyright of the pattern, and so the same rights still are entailed. People, even if it's free, they can't pass that pattern off as their own. They can't copy that pattern and give it away to other people, even if you're giving it away free. License agreement should be stated in the documentation of the sale or on the outside packaging of the item where it can be read without opening the product. Yeah, that's where it has to be. Not should, has to be. Because in order for it to be a valid contract, a person sorry, a person has to agree to all the terms of the contract before the purchase. So you can't like hide like um, contract stipulations inside the packaging. Um, it has to be on the outside. It has to be where everybody can read it and agree to it. Yeah, I know she said that. Pam, yeah, she does say that. I agree. Once you sell it, there is no guarantee how it will be used. And I mean, and I can see how some people might have a problem with that. I'm sure there's, but the bottom line is, if you're going to sell patterns, that's just kind of a risk you kind of take. I mean, if you sell a pattern and somebody makes that pattern and modifies it and mucks it up, then you still have the standing of, yeah, they use my pattern, but this is not how my pattern was written. This is not how my pattern works up. This is how my pattern works up. I don't know what they were doing with that. You always have that to fall back on. I'm glad you're enjoying the rant. Same for license agreements and materials at Joann's. All Disney and similar prints are also for personal use only, and that material cannot be used for items for sale. Okay, well now you're getting into trademarks and patents. That's a totally different animal. I'm talking about people who write a pattern and then want to tell people that they can't sell the item, the finished item. Once you get into this whole, don't bring up Disney. Disney controls their block. Disney guards their block. You don't even want to. Oh no, don't even. It's a bad idea. So many lawsuits. Whew. I don't make the sell, but I'd be peeved if I wanted to sell something and it said on the pattern it cannot sell finished items. Don't they want the patterns out there noticed? See, that's my point. What was the point of putting the pattern for sale if you're going to turn around and say, oh, you can buy my pattern, but you only make it once? What? Miss me with that. If I buy your pattern, I'm going to make that as many times as I want, and I'm going to do with those items what I want. And if I decide to like uh, wallpaper my house with your scarf pattern, well, the scarf from the scarf pattern, ain't nothing you can do about it. Now, if I actually wallpaper my house with the pattern, you can probably get me for that. But if I make all the scarves and I write my house in them, there ain't nothing you can do about it. Other than maybe come by and admire it. But past that, you have no legal standing. None. And one more time, if you're that worried about it, don't sell your patterns. Don't sell them. Don't even give them away. Keep them to yourself. So that deep. People don't understand copyright and trademark. Yeah, people don't. They really don't. They don't understand what it means or the difference between the two or anything like that. The best way to describe the difference between copyright and trademark is the copyright protects the creator. A trademark actually protects the consumer. Because the reason that you use a trademark is so that when people are expecting to buy X, but they get tricked because Y looks so much like X, that's a trademark issue. And then, like, reputation and images and likeness all fall under trademark as well. Sella is saying, it just occurred to me Goodwill could sell handmade crocheted items that were donated to them, but that will not count as a secondary market. Yeah, if the pattern designers do not sell my items was a real thing, yeah, then yeah, Goodwill won't be able to sell those items. But there, I mean, but who's gonna know that though? If somebody made created the bought the pattern, made the pattern, donated it to Goodwill, and the Goodwill sells it, who's really going to trace that back to the pattern designer and go, "Hey, did you have like a clause that said that people couldn't sell your finished item?" It doesn't even work. It from any aspect, any way you look at it, it doesn't make any sense. It's not enforceable. I don't understand. I don't understand how people even think it's enforceable. Are you going to go around to everybody that buys your powder and go, "How many did you make? What did you do with them? You didn't sell them, did you? Because I expressly said you couldn't sell. Who has that time? Let it go. Move on to your next pattern. And let me say it one more time. Quit selling them. If you're that paranoid about it, do not sell your patterns. Just don't. Oh my god. No, let's see. Everybody's talking. Chris saying, I also refrain from giving legal advice on YouTube as well. Even lawyers put in a disclaimer, internet editors will suck, or at least state them as opinions. This is all my opinion. Anybody that's been on my I don't pretend to be a lawyer. I don't say I'm a lawyer. I do say that I'm working on my master's in legal studies, but that does not make me a lawyer. But I do believe in common sense, and most of what I'm saying here is common sense. And anybody can get buy a Black's Law library and look up contract law and see exactly what I just said. Moore said I use creative interpretation to make my blankets a lot of the time, but I do credit where I get the ideas from. Well, if it's inspired by somebody, yeah, sure. But honestly, you're not even required to do that. A lot of people will ask that if you make their pattern that you state whose pattern it is, and it's a nice thing to do. It's not a dumb thing to do. It's a pretty smart thing to do. But legally, you're not entitled. The only thing that you can't do is if somebody point blank says, "Oh, did you design that?" You can't say yes. You know, you have to say no. Now, whether or not you then go ahead and credit the pattern designer is up to you. I would do it, but legally, you don't have to. But again, that falls under the category of changing one piece and suddenly having a new pattern as being a very, very, very crummy thing to do. It's just crummy. Don't do crummy things. Let's see. Oh, it's chatting. My chat's jumping around. I meant if a free pattern states that you can't sell the made product, you see that statement right away. A free pattern states that you can't sell the made product. No, it still doesn't. No. Um, Let me look that up. But I'm pretty sure that that is no different than buying a pattern. Um, Because the copyright's a copyright, whether it's a free pattern or a paid pattern. The copyright for the pattern is all that the person who designs the pattern has. They really have no say as to what you do with the pattern past that. But I'm going to research that some more. I'll get back to you. I'm going to have to follow up on the replay. Gotta go. See you later, Marquita. Thanks for being here. I don't think you would be entitled to a refund if you learned of those conditions post-purchase. Just be sure to read all documentation before making a purchase or ask the seller if you are unsure. Who does that? Most people don't even read the terms and conditions on a contract such as that. Most people don't read them. But yeah, if you buy a pattern and then you find out after you buy the pattern that you can't, and I'm putting this in quotes because again, no legal standing whatsoever, you can't sell the finished items, then yeah, I would ask for a refund if it were me. But again, legally, they don't have the right to say that. And going with the contract law, yeah, if you buy the pattern and then you find that out, it's a void contract anyway. So yeah, I would ask for my money back. Depending on who you bought it through, though, it can be more of a hassle than it's worth. Most patterns say they're non-refundable before you purchase. That's true, but in this case, contractually, they're in breach. They would be in breach. That's what it comes down to eventually. You can't need to control patterns you sell. I wonder if the fabric pattern companies like McCall's would get themselves in that kind of pickle. Actually, a couple of them actually did have that disclaimer that their patterns were for personal use only, but they were written on the packaging of the pattern itself. So when you bought the pattern, you knew that you couldn't sell what you made from that pattern because it was literally on the packaging itself. I always just still had some of my mom's patterns because it was written on the front of them. Exactly. I love seeing YouTubers show a make that they've tweaked a bit or even a lot, but always give the credit to the designer of the pattern up front. Yeah, it's only fair. I mean, if somebody, okay, if you like 90% of a pattern and you tweaked it, so the other 10% was more in your appeal, give the original credit maker the credit for that 90%. You know what? It's not gonna hurt your feelings. You'll be fine. Give them the credit. If you tweaked it, great. Go ahead and admit that. Show where you tweaked it, but also give credit to the person that made the rest of it. Congratulations, you collaborated. To be fair, I haven't yet purchased a pattern where you can't resell the made items, but I know they exist. Yeah, they exist, and I think it's crazy. And again, going back to the original conversation I had in the Facebook group, after she sent me the copyright.gov link, and I responded with, "Why am I going? If it's your point and you're so sure of it, you show me." The thread got taken down. It was closed. The comments because it was becoming a heated discussion. Well, yeah, it was becoming a heated discussion because somebody was on here spouting lies, and I wasn't going to let them. But anyway, it is what it is. It annoyed me. It annoyed me enough to want to make it the rant for my live tonight. And I just don't understand. If you're that paranoid about how people are going to use your patterns, don't sell your patterns. Find a new hobby. Keep them to yourself. I don't understand. Because If 100 people buy your pattern and 100 people make your item, that means that there are 100 versions of your pattern floating around out there somewhere. If one person buys your pattern and they make it 100 times, there's still 100 versions of your pattern floating around out there, but you're mad that they made money off of it? I don't understand. You made money off of selling the pattern. And if you're that mad that they were going to make money off of the finished item, then why didn't you just sell the finished item instead of the pattern? Make the item to sell it yourself. I don't understand the logic. I don't understand the reason behind it. It just seems ridiculous and petty and full of paranoia. And I know I've said this probably a million times, but here it is for a million and one. If you're that upset about it, you're not worried about it, don't sell the pattern. They think they will sell more patterns if they don't let you sell the makes. That doesn't even make sense either. That doesn't make sense either. Because, like I just said, if you sell 100 copies of a pattern, there's 100 versions of that item out there. If one person buys a pattern and makes 100 of them, there's still 100 versions of your pattern out there. And again, if you're that upset that they're making money off your pattern, either don't sell it and focus on making the finished products and selling the finished products. Well, there's even there. Just sell the finished products yourself. I personally got out of selling finished products and into patterns because I had no desire to make 100 of the same item. Zero, zip, zilch, nada. Don't want to do it, can't stand it, not going to do it. I'd rather just write the pattern, put it up there, let people buy the pattern, and make it to the heart's desire. You can't have it both ways. And that's what people who put those clauses in their patterns are trying to do. They're trying to control who has their pattern, and they're trying to control how the pattern is used. And that's not how copyright works. That's not how any of this works. It's just greed. They want to sell the patterns or whatever good and then retain exclusive rights to sell the finished item as well. And there's nothing wrong with them. And I mean, you can sell, obviously, they can sell the items themselves. But no, unless they go through the hassle of making the item and then trying to get a copyright on the item itself, that legally that's not going to work. And I'm not even sure that legally they would even be able to get that copyright because items such as things that are crocheted are considered usable items, and usable items kind of fall into the general commons area, and it's kind of hard to get copyrights on usable items because of that, because they are common goods. And again, I'll say this, I'm not a lawyer. I don't play one on TV. I don't play one on YouTube. I'm just a girl that's in grad school to get my legal studies degree who comes along with these things and just goes off on crazy rants. Greed. People are not fighting. It feels so legally blonde. If you sell your sperm, are you legally responsible for every child and every potential child? Exactly. Sorry, I'm very tardy. I took a wee unintentional nap. Well, I'm glad you're here either way, D. You missed most of my rants. You'll kind of have to catch it on the replay. But we're basically talking about people who pattern designers who try to force people not to sell their finished products made with their patterns. That's what we're talking about. I think exposure to patterns is highly dependent on others seeing how the pattern turns out. I mean, not to demean anyone selling, but there are a lot of patterns. Yeah, there are. There are a lot of patterns out there, and which is why, like, when I get a pattern cell, I'm happy because there's a million patterns out there for pocket shawls. There's a million patterns out there for fingerless gloves. There's a million patterns out there for shawls. If people have gone through the hassle to look up patterns and they found mine and they liked it and they bought it, I'm flattered. I'm excited. I'm stoked. So that makes me happy. I'm not going to turn around and alienate people and tell them, "Oh, I'm glad you found my pattern, but you can only use it for personal use," and not even think about taking my pattern and making something and selling it. What? I appreciate it. Am I still here? Am I still alive? You guys still see me? I know my internet blinked for a second. But anyway, no. I'm perfectly happy when people want to make my designs when they buy my pattern. I'm not going to turn around and tell them, "Great, I'm glad you bought it," but no, don't make a finished item and sell it. No, that would never occur to me, and it boggles my mind that people actually think they have that kind of reach. You don't. So that's pretty much my rant. Stop giving out bad advice. Stop trying to control things that are no longer in your control. And if you're that paranoid about it, don't sell patterns. The end. Speaking of your patterns, I've been wearing my low shrug a lot in the evenings. Oh, I'm glad you're enjoying it. That's still one of my favorite patterns. I love that shrug so much. It's still probably the favorite thing I've designed. So yeah. So anyway, so like I said, the thread got pulled down because it was getting heated. Whatever. Um, I just think it's wrong when people, and it also runs into the other thing. You don't come into an argument, state that a state your side, and then not be able to back it up with a source, and then on top of it, tell somebody else that they need to go and research it. No, if this is your argument, this is your point, come with the point. Make the point and back it up with a source. Don't look at somebody and essentially say Google is your friend. That doesn't fly. Because all that tells me is that you're making this up as you go along and you don't want to admit that. And that's just lame. Yes, I have run into these issues with some digital asset reuse and never bought from those sellers. Yeah, no. Do not make it, criticize it, or change it. I know where you. Oh, good lord, I saw this threatening people that wouldn't change your patterns. Okay, so mental note, make a seller's pattern exactly the way it is. Otherwise, she will hunt you down. Mental note. Keep that in mind. So I hope that rant was worthy of you being here. It's definitely something that annoys me to a great level, in case you hadn't caught on to that. I just don't like people who provide, and excuse my French, half ass information. Just don't. If you don't have the time to research something properly to give a proper response, just don't respond. Or if you want to participate, say, you know what, let me look that up and I'll get back to you. Or Again, just don't respond. But don't give people wrong information and then get mad when people correct you on it. It makes I don't understand. I invented post-it notes and a double crochet. Oh my god. Here we go. I'm glad you all enjoyed the rant. I actually enjoyed ranting on the rant because it fulfilled my really it fulfilled my two major needs or desires to inform and to basically just rant about things because I like to rant. Apparently, my dog likes to rant too. Puppy, why? Well, at least we got to the end of the chat before they decided to start acting up. Um. Okay, so now we're going through and talking about everything we invented. All right, let's see. Acela invented the post-it note. Somebody needs to write this down. Acela has invented the post-it note and the double crochet. Thank you. Well, Lauren's calling dibs on the granny squares. I've always hated stimulation on sale. Earth me up, yeah. I can cross the border and sell in Mexico or Canada. Catch me. Oh my god. Okay, so Acela invented double crochet and post-it notes. Lauren invented granny squares. Who wants to claim Gingham? Anybody? Anybody want to claim that they invented Gingham? Come on, someone's got it. Come on. Somebody claim it. I'm personally going to claim half double crochet. That was me. I created half double crochet. I will die on that hill. The person I want to meet is the person that created single crochet, so I can ask them why. Why is this a thing? I'm trying to make sure I've caught up with everybody. I don't think I want to cross a Acela. I think I would find a crocheted horse head in my bed and all my hooks broken. Acela, you gangsta. Steve, why? Why, Steve? Why? Why is the single crochet necessary? I don't understand. It was you. I'm with you, Lauren. You can keep that one. Yeah. No. No, single crochet is my least favorite stitch ever. Oh my goodness. If I see a pattern with single crochets in it, I I have to work. It has to be a pattern I really, really like for me not to nope out of it. Oh, single crochet? Nope. Uh-uh. Can't make me. No one here is going to claim they invented sewing in of ends. Catherine, that's you. Yes. I'm giving that to Catherine. That's solely on Catherine's shoulders right there. Because you need the single crochet for mosaics. See now, VJ, there you go, putting logic in it. No, fine. This is true. I do use single crochet when I'm doing mosaic or yeah, or tapestry crochet in general. It's the only time I use it though. Lauren saying I actually don't mind doing that, Chris. I'll own it. Oh, okay. No old stir. All the grannies here what they have made. Here wear what they have made. No credit, no halfsies, no nothing. Make to live and eat. Oh yeah. That's why I replace all single crochet with extended string with single crochet. Even that is torture. I just do half double crochet. I prefer it. It's quicker, gives me more a little more height. Not quite as high as double crochet. It's like a happy medium, literally. No way, I don't want everyone to hate me. Okay, so Catherine does not want to claim rewing and ends. Okay, Catherine, so we'll throw you a softball. Crochet over ends with you. How's that? I'm at peace with my ends because of my many graddy square projects. Yeah, if you're gonna do graded square projects, you kind of just have to not have a problem with weaving in ends. There's no getting around it. You need singles for almost every crochet item. The royalties would be mind-boggling. So he claimed it for pure money aspect. I like how you think, Steve. I like how you think. All right, guys. This has been fun. That rant was great to get off my chest. I appreciate you guys being here to hear it. Um, you'll take the half double crochet V stitch. Okay, you can have it. As you can hear, my voice is going. Even with all my handy dandy beverages, I'm still fading fast. So I think I'm gonna get off here, take some cold meds, and maybe make it an early evening. Although I really do want to finish the llama's head, so I may stay up long enough to do that. What's this fella saying? I want to claim tying beads to unwoven ends, and call it artistic fringe. Okay, you're killing me. You can't go. Who's going to entertain me? I'm sorry, Lauren. But as you can hear, my voice is going. I'm getting congested, and I'm going to start like sniffling and making all kinds of unattractive noises on this live. And I try to keep up at least a partial air professionalism. So I am going to get off of here and, like I said, go blow my nose and take some more cold meds and finish the llama's head and probably go to bed. Ah, I was a poet. I was a poet. That was a poem. I'm a poet. I didn't know it, but never mind. Anyhow, I'm starting to get slap happy too. So this was great. I'm glad you were here to hear this rant. Um, if you are so inclined and you enjoyed this, hit the like button on your way out. And if you're new here and this is your first time encountering me, hi, and I'd apologize, but look at my name. Haha. But if you think that you want to hear more from me, because I actually do make actual videos and everything, go ahead and hit the subscribe button, hit the bell icon so that you know when I upload a video and the next time I go live. I go live every Wednesday at normally around between 8 and 8:15 p.m. Um, that might change in the near future, but I'm not totally sure. I just have to wait to see how everybody's schedule shakes out around here. Um, and I put out a video generally once a week, although this summer has been shaky because, like I said, we've all been sick, which means we're all coughing and hacking and we're all here. So finding like quiet time to film a video is a challenge at best. But I do have videos on my channel, so feel free to go back and watch a few of those. And there are some other lives, and you can watch those. And I do need to sort through them because some of them have rants and some of them don't. Most of them do, but some rants are more epic than others. Like I would consider this an epic rant as far as my channel goes. And I enjoyed it immensely. And whenever I find a topic that warrants it, you will get a rant from me because that's just how I roll. And now I'm rambling incoherently. Again, something else that my longtime subscribers seem to enjoy because you guys are some sick people. But I'm going to get off of here. Thanks for being here. This was great. This was fun. I enjoyed chatting with y'all for this last hour or so. And I will see you in the Yarny Halls on my next video. And if nothing else, here next week. Thanks for being here. Talk to you soon. Bye.